What's up, guys? We're back.
Yep.
Tyson, Matt, talking football.
Yep.
They were just kind of going. We just got done with the draft, and that was pretty wild, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they were just kind of going to go through, and this is kind of an early prediction. We're going to kind of predict how we think the divisions are going to end, as far as like how the teams are going to do. It's pretty early. Like I said, the draft was last week, so we're not like too far into the we haven't even hit preseason or anything like that yet. So we're just going to kind of give our pre predictions, sort of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to start with and we're not going to talk about every single team. We might, but just going to kind of go through in the divisions. Where should we start?
Let's go. Let's start with AFC East.
The AFC East. Okay, we got the Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Patriots. It's obvious who's going to win that division.
The Bills. But the Dolphins have a pretty decent.
That's pretty obvious. I'm writing this down. I'm going to put on a PDF or something, and maybe put it in a pinned comment or something, so you guys go and see what our predictions are.
I think this division's probably going to do.
So it's obviously the Bliss are going to take the
Bills.
Yeah, I don't know how to spell Bills. I spelled Bliss. Bills there. Now it's not Bliss anymore. I think second's going to be the Patriots.
Yeah, I was going to say Patriots.
I think the Patriots are starting to be vastly improved since the last couple of years.
Yep.
Is that where you're going, Patriots?
I was going to go with Dolphins, but yeah, Patriots.
Yeah. I'm going. I think the Patriots.
I'm going Patriots.
And then Dolphins.
And then Jets.
And then
Jets.
And then we have to pick the Jets next because that's the only team left. Because they're still going to be the Jets.
Okay. AFC no. So I'm going to say this.
The
Ravens
is going to be a tough division.
Bengals number 2. Steelers number 3. Browns number 4.
I think Steelers number 3, huh?
Yeah.
Who's their quarterback?
Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, and I don't know.
You think they'll still do better than the Browns?
Probably.
But the Browns got Shador, dude.
They have 5 quarterbacks. I don't even know who is their starting quarterback.
Okay, ask me this. What's better? 5 quarterbacks or 0 quarterbacks?
5 quarterbacks or 3 quarterbacks?
I agree. You say Ravens.
Ravens 1. I know I hate the Bengals, but I like the players. I have to go with Bengals number 2. Just knowing the Bengals.
Cincy, and then Steelers, and then Browns. Browns are, regardless what you think, the Browns are still the Browns. Sometimes they surprise you and do okay, but they're still the Browns. They don't seem like they know what they're doing. Yeah, they got Shedeur Sanders, but they also got Gabriel, who they picked first, and then. But I don't know. It's weird. I think I don't know. I'm kind of Steelers. Steelers are just a better organization. Even with a bad quarterback, I think they'll still do better than the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're trying to. I kind of think the Steelers might be trying to not do very good so they can get a better quarterback next year. But
yep.
Brownies. Now the South.
Yep, is Texans, Colts, Jaguars, and Titans. I don't know
that's going to be a bad division.
What do you mean?
They're not going to be. They're going to be a bad division. They're not going to do very good, just like last year.
The Houston Texans would do good.
Texans were. Colts did okay-ish, but other than that, you've got two of those teams were both in the top 5 of the draft. That doesn't say much. But it's going to be, obviously, the Texans are going to walk away with that one. No question about that.
The Colts, with their quarterback room, I'm not sure.
Who's the Colts?
Yeah. Well, they just added a
Well,
tight end.
did they draft a quarterback?
No, yeah, but
'Cause they
like
got-
in like the 6th round.
Because they got Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones.
In the 6th round, they got Riley Leonard. He's not. Yes, he's from Notre Dame, but he wasn't even that good.
I'm not an anti-Daniel Jones guy. I think he's better than a lot of people think. I think he might actually compete for that job.
I think he would probably do good too.
Is he going to do? Is the team going to do good? Probably not. But I think Daniel Jones is, and I'm not saying Daniel Jones is like the greatest. I'm just he's better than a lot of people thought. He was just on a bad team, and that didn't help.
Maybe it will be the same, but like it could be.
If you put him in a better system, he'll do a lot better. The Giant system has been bad for too many years.
Yeah.
But Texans. What do you think next? Colts or Jags or Titans?
Titans will probably have a few more years. To get
Yeah,
better.
I think the Titans are still
The Jaguars
taking up the bottom of that one.
do better. The Jaguars could do better. But I have to go stick with Colts, then Jaguars, and
You
Titans.
going Colts and Jags, huh?
Yeah.
I was thinking Jags second, but
Well, you can put Jags.
well, I went with the Pats over your Dolphins, so y'all go your Colts over the Jags.
Okay.
Because you said Dolphins were going to finish second, but we went Pats, so we'll go Colts, right?
Yep.
And then Jags, and then the Tennessee over taking up the rear, taking up the hind end. Okay, now we are at the West, the division you know nothing about.
Yep. I think Chiefs are first, then Broncos, then Chargers, and then Raiders. What do you think?
I think this is just me, but I think the Broncos are going to take it, and then the Chiefs, and then the Raiders, and then the Chargers, and then the Raiders. That's what I think. I mean, I'm just trying to, because I mean, what? Not saying the Chiefs aren't good, but what did they really do so far in the offseason that's like
They only got like
Gonna
2 steals.
keep them up there?
They literally got 2 steals. An offensive tackle from Ohio State and a wide receiver from Utah State.
And Mahomes already proven that he can do it without necessarily, but I mean, what kind of receiving core does he have to?
Rasheed Rice, Xavier.
He's good. They're good. They're young.
Hollywood Brown, and now Jalen Warriors. Trying to think. Isaiah Pacheco.
He's still got Kelsey, and he's
Keenan Allen.
I mean, they've still got some guys.
Patrick Mahomes.
They still got their
Travis Kelsey.
Didn't they lose someone good on defense?
I think you guys got one.
I think he re-signed. I
Which
don't
one
know.
you got?
Maybe. I don't know, but the Broncos are going to surprise you this year, I think. Well, not really surprise you, but I think the Broncos are coming back to where they could steal the division. But we can go Chiefs.
Okay.
Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders.
Yep.
The Chefs. The Bronx.
Chargers, then Raiders.
Charge. Raiders. I think the
Okay.
Raiders are just a couple years out, and they're going to be competitive again, too. But
NFC East.
the NFC East. My prediction is Eagles, Washington, because I don't call them the Commanders because they're the Redskins, so I'll just call them Washington. And then the Giants, and then the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are taking up the rear of that division.
Yeah.
What do you think on that?
You can see that.
You with me? You with me on that one?
Yep.
So
the Cowboys didn't do so good last year, and they lost
So
their
Philly-
good coach. They hired like the offensive coordinator that really didn't do anything. and they didn't even draft good players.
The Giants, they're coming back. It may still take a few years if they can get this plan. And I see the wheels turning, and I see it kind of. I'm optimistic. Let me just put it to you like that. I'm very optimistic with what the Giants have done this offseason. I think they've made a pretty big splash, and I think if it works out, we're going to be competing for that division here again real soon. May not be this year, may not be next year, but give it a year or two. And I mean, if we're like on the verge of playoffs, or if we're in playoff contention, even if we don't make the playoffs, but we're at least in the hunt, that's a huge improvement. Huge improvement from those past few years, past 15 years or so.
The past a year.
Well, we went.
Few years.
We snuck into the playoffs a couple times, but probably, I would say, probably mostly a fluke. But yeah, if we're at least in contention, consistently in contention for playoffs, we'll eventually burst that bubble and make it in and potentially do something. If they can keep their plan going. I see what their plan is leading them, but all right. NFC North.
Yep.
We got the Lions, Vikings, Packers, and Bears.
I can see the Vikings go to third.
Vikings dropping to third.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Still think the Lions are taking it?
Of course. They're a way better team.
Till they hit the playoffs. Then they're not so good anymore.
They're as bad
Well, that's
as
just the Lions for you.
They are as bad as the Vikings.
And then who's number 2?
The Packs.
The Packers?
Yep.
Packers.
They're going to do better than they have been.
And then you think the Bears? The Bears.
No, the Vikings.
Oh, and then the Vikes. You think the Bears are still in last place?
Yes.
And
Knowing the GOAT, Caleb Williams.
I don't know. They're I don't know. They got the talent, I think, but I just don't think they have good leadership over there. They're good, the culture, the team culture, whatever, or something. But something's holding them back. They've got the talent there. They just can't win the games.
NFC South.
South. Bucks, Falcons, Panthers, and Saints.
The Panthers might be doing more better than they have been.
Yeah, we still think the Bucks are going to take it again.
Yeah.
Turn that thing down. My other phone's making some noise.
I can see Panthers maybe doing better.
But we still think Bucks number 1
Yeah.
because of that Sanders kid.
Oh, yeah.
The other Sanders kid.
Safety.
Shiloh. No, probably won't be because of him.
No, because he was not an undrafted free agent.
And then Falcons or Panthers next.
Probably Panthers.
You think Panthers are going to go on to second?
Because the Falcons didn't really get that much.
I don't know. According to the experts, the Falcons had one of the best drafts this year.
No.
According to the guys that make millions of dollars.
I don't think they did. Because they got only, in the first round, they got 2 defense.
Well, what do you know? You don't make any money doing this.
I know.
These guys make millions of dollars. But I should be making millions of dollars because most of the time I say something and then they repeat it word for word and then they're getting millions of dollars for it.
Mm-hmm.
I should sue them for my half or at least my cut of that. But anyway. So you think the Panthers are going to move into second place?
Yeah,
Okay.
They're just they're just rebuilding over. They're just building around Bryce Young.
They did get that good receiver.
Yeah, pretty hyped. He's pretty hyped to be there.
And then they still got Chuba Hubbard. He's pretty good.
They got Trevor Etienne.
And they got Trevor Etienne, but And then you think the Falcons,
Yeah.
and then the Saints.
Yeah.
ATL and NO. All right. And last, and potentially, certainly least, last but not least, the AFC West.
Okay. I know the Rams was a number one, but I don't really remember who they drafted a lot. But I have to go Seahawks, Cardinals, then 49ers, then Rams.
The Rams are going to go from first to last.
I don't really remember who they draft, honestly, or like who they picked up. Well, they picked up Devontae
They
Adams.
got Devontae Adams. I think they'll still be good. So they still got Kyron Williams. They still got Puka Nacua, but instead of Cup, they've got Adams. I think they're still going to do good. I think they'll still take that division.
I think they will probably be third.
I don't think they're going to go to last place in the division.
They probably will be third.
I think they'll only drop second at best, at worst.
Well, the Cardinals is like coming back.
Yeah. But I think the 49ers will get their act back together. They were injury plagued. I don't think they're going to finish last place again.
I don't think Cardinals will too. Because last year they was literally 8-9. Okay.
Okay, so what's your order then?
Probably Seahawks 1.
You're going Seahawks 1, huh? Seahawks. I don't know how to write. I'll type it up better. Okay, and then
Rams.
And then 49ers or Cardinals?
They both did pretty good.
Well, 49ers did. They only won 6 games.
No, I mean in the draft, and mostly in the draft.
Well, it's not always about the draft.
Well, the 49ers didn't get any good players in free agency, but they got good players in the draft. They got what they needed.
They did lose Debo, but did they even pick up a replacement for Debo?
I think they did. I think they got 2 wide receivers and a running back.
Well, so the last 2. Cards or Niners? Cards or Niners? That's pretty tough.
Probably Cardinals.
You think Cards?
Yeah.
And then 49ers are in last place.
Yeah.
That's weird, but because they're.
I mean, I would put Cardinals at 2 and 49ers at 3 and Rams at 4.
I don't think the Rams are going to go in 4.
Okay.
I don't think so. Well, I guess that's our picks. Or our predictions of how the season's going to go. And that's early. We might do another one once preseason starts or once we get some more free agency because things could change. You know, the Steelers could decide to pick up a quarterback or something could happen that could change our minds. But for now, that's our division standings of how we think that's going to happen. And we'll kind of find out what happens as the season goes on.
Yep.
We'll find out. And I'll print this off, maybe put it in a PDF and pin comment if you want to refer back to it to kind of compare how we picked throughout the season, or if yours is different, if you want to compare yours to ours or whatever. And anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Links will be down below for whatever, and do the YouTube stuff. We're trying to grow. We're getting better, we think, but
yeah.
Anyway, appreciate you. See you in the next one.